Say it.
Hassan?
Yeah.
Hey. I can't. Don't say anything. I can't hear you.
Yeah, I know you can't hear me.
Is this the FINEY Awards?
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah. No. What? No. You need to come back. No. You. I already hit record. You just need to sit down. We're already recording.
Oh, what? Oh my God.
Just need to sit. No.
Recording?
Yes. No, we.
Wait, when did we start?
About a minute and 30 seconds ago. What? No, wait. Okay, yeah. No,
Whoa! Hey, everybody! It's the everything is fine. Of these FINEY Awards. I'm your host. Whew, Tristan. Hey. Yeah.
We plan these a year out.
Yeah.
How'd you show up late a year out?
I don't understand the question. Oh, hold on. I have to look classy. 1 second. Gotta get some alcohol because this is a classy show. I got a whole bottle of China over here. Yeah.
I don't know that people consider China to be classy.
They don't?
I mean, look at the bottle.
Yeah.
Does that scream classy to you, Tristan?
It's an artichoke liqueur from Italy. Of course it's classy. Oh. Oh, yeah, right. Oh. Well,
yeah.
I poured it, so I guess that's my night, I guess.
I got water.
Well, it's a whole glass of China. So this is your topic, Hassan. What are we here to talk to you about today?
It's our topic. It's the FINEY Awards. Remember?
Oh shit! God
have
damn
the
it!
6 categories,
Yeah.
our favorite things of the year.
That's today.
Yeah. Again, we planned this a year out. You shouldn't be surprised by this.
I assumed it wasn't going to be until like next month, 2 months from now.
What month do you think we're in?
September?
You know what? Don't answer. It's December.
Oh.
It's end of December.
Oh, that explains
buddy.
why it's so cold outside. Holy shit.
Yeah. No, that's
Oh.
why we're doing the awards now.
Well, well, welcome to the FINEY Awards, the most prestigious award of all time. An award show in which we, the hosts of the Everything is Fine with His Room podcast, get together, decide the best things of the year, and discuss them live on the well, not live, it's recorded, on the show. And we have special guest James Dean. He's dead.
Dead. Very dead for a long time.
We have musical guest Sting.
I mean, I like the Police. Sting on his own, though.
Yeah.
Man.
Okay. How about the comedy stylings of Carrot Top?
Does he still do comedy?
I assume.
All right, well, I feel like it can't be worse than whoever hosts the Oscars.
Well, actually, how about the hilarious guest introductions by one James Earl Jones?
Oh yeah, I'd be okay with that.
I couldn't get him, so he would have been great voice, deep.
Yeah,
He
would. He really, truly would be.
Yeah. I got nothing. I was gonna say I got somebody for this, but I really don't. I think it's just you and me.
Yeah, that's usually how this actually works, Tristan.
Guest presenter, Joe River. No, she's dead too.
Yeah.
Joe Rivers is very
Definitely
dead. Okay, well, yeah, I guess it's just you and me. We're on our own. Shit. What are we gonna do?
You know what? I'm gonna make this easy for you, buddy.
Yeah.
Let me tell you about my TV shows of the year.
Oh, okay, that is much easier. Hold on. That's what you're saying. There we go. And this time I don't have any weird title cards get spooked by. Yeah.
So my TV shows of the year, my honorable mention, the way, for anybody who doesn't know, the way we do it, we have our winner, a runner-up, and then our honorable mention.
Yeah, we got that.
Honorable mention is going to go to The Bear, primarily season 2, which came out this year.
Yeah.
I liked season 1 of The Bear. I think it was a little bit too dour. The characters were almost joyless. Season 2, still a very heavy show, but it definitely added some joy to it. Characters getting to have moments of pleasure. And I think it was fantastic. My
Great
runner-up,
season 2 too.
going to go to Star Trek Strange New Worlds. I ended up really liking it. It's a different take on Star Trek than any of the past ones. It's a little more modern in a way, just some of the things, that the way that the characters talk, their attitudes. It's got some weird moments. Season 2 has just a full-on musical episode, and that's weird.
I gotta appreciate that, gotta say.
There's also an episode where it just crosses over with Lower Decks. It literally starts off animated. The Lower Deck characters go through a portal, and then they are just live-action humans.
That's weird.
Yeah, no, it gets weird in some real good ways. I'd still not say, one of my favorite Star Treks. I still think that both Next Generation and Voyager I like more, but it's really good, and I found myself drawn into it far more than I would have expected a Star Trek property in 2023. But my winner, a bit of a surprise, a very big surprise for me.
Yeah.
Was not expecting to come out liking this nearly as much as I did. It's the live action One Piece. That show is genuinely really, really good, both as an anime adaptation and I think even as something that if someone was unfamiliar with the anime, it's really good. It still has those really powerful emotional moments, coupled with just the crew goofing around, much like in the manga and anime. And I find myself very excited for the prospect of more of that show. Mm-hmm. I've no idea how they're possibly going to do how they're going to continue. At some point, they're going to have to break off from the anime and manga and do their own thing.
I would assume.
For now, I'm 100% in on this show and
invested,
really enjoying it. Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool. All right, yeah. Well, good TV show gets. So for me, my honorable mention is going to go to Barry season 3, because the season 3 of Barry is so delightfully experimental and weird. It's hard to hate. It's kind of a weird one. It's like it's super weird. It's like a 8-year later time skip. And then all this crazy shit's happening.
Oh, it's an anime, I see.
Kind of in a way. Yeah, it's fun show that.
Do they finally get Mary Berry on the show?
Mary Berry? No.
I don't even know why you're giving an award, but go on. No Mary Berry on a show called Barry?
Because Bill Hader is really good. Anyway. My runner-up is going to go to The After Party, season 2. Season 2 of The After Party. So, nothing
really
has... Yeah. Nothing has gotten me and my partner Karen on the very edges of the couch dissecting the show frame by frame. We figured out the mystery like episodes before it actually came up. Like we nailed it. It was awesome. And it was good to like kind of see the show kind of like culminate and be like, "Oh yeah, those who guessed this were right." But for me, my winner for TV show of the year is The Bear season 2.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I love
know
the Bear.
You were into The Bear.
I love The Bear so much, Hassan. Like The Bear. First off, The Bear reminds me of my time when I was doing like delivery driving and catering and that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah,
like hardcore.
The way that it gets that like, and I've seen people talk about it. And they've just been like, "Oh, you only get if you work in a restaurant." It's like, no, you definitely get this at any sort of like
exactly
high pressure job where you just it's like go. What you want? You want like a smoke break? Nah, that's not going to happen.
You don't have time.
For me, that Christmas episode is one of the most painful things to ever watch. Like
it really is.
I'm just gonna go into another. I need to go into another room. You guys keep doing. I just need to walk away from this.
Mikey coming in and like basically picking on Bob Odenkirk's character, like Uncle Leo, the entire time, and throwing the spoons and the fork and shit. It's like, throw another fucking spoon at me, we'll see who goes toe to toe, chump. It's just like, fuck yeah. And then like at the very end of that episode, where like Jamie Lee Curtis's character, Donna drives the car through the fucking living room. That's just like, oh my god. And just like I understand why Carmi feels the way he feels now. It's like, you love these people, but my God, you cannot stand them.
Yeah. No, that family's got problems.
Yeah, but I mean, like the episode after that one, which is when Richie gets his shit together and learns to be like the greatest server of all time, and he's just like he starts off as a poor schlub. It's Richie. It's cousin Richie. He doesn't know what he's doing.
Ayo, cousin.
Ayo, cousin. Manja, baby, kind of thing. But it's like he puts the suit on eventually as a server at like a high class restaurant, and he starts remembering names and knowing like these people like this thing, they have to do this. They wanted the heat turned down over here. Lights are too high up. This kind of thing. This person is leaving Chicago without tasting deep dish pizza for the first time. Not on my watch. And he has to like run over to a new restaurant and get it, and they have to serve it to them like all yeah. And then like at that point it's like, fuck yeah, Manja, baby. Yeah, Richie. And then like the last episode where like they open the restaurant and Karen gets locked in the freezer, and it's just he's listening to the chaos outside. He's like, what am I doing? And I hate this. Oh man. Oh, what a good, solid show. That season,
The pathos of it is
pathos
incredible.
is amazing. And then like everybody gets their own thing, and it's all very interesting. Acting is so good. Sydney, mind-blowing good in this show. Season 1, pretty damn good. And season 2, opposite game, hardcore.
Yep.
Like everybody's got to work to actually be as good as her, in my opinion. So yeah, that's my TV show of the year. What should we move on to? You want like movies, comics, miscellaneous internet media?
Yeah, let's do miscellaneous.
Miscellaneous internet media. It is. Well, do you want to go with you first, or want to jump to me?
You could take this one.
All right. So, my honorable mention is going to go to regular Eye Patch Wolf, not the super one, unfortunately.
Is that like his evil clone or something?
It's his gaming channel, actually. It's where he hosts his Twitch streams on YouTube. Now, here's the thing. I think that his Super Eye Patch Wolf, like John's Super Eye Patch Wolf channel, is amazing. Love his video essays. And like this year, he really outdid himself and kind of like kicked me off on a quest to watch all of Simpsons. That said, though, I tuned in twice a week to regular Eye Patch Wolf for his the final gamer in this smokehouse, and yeah, it was a lot of fun to kind of see him like pulling more of like a character to the direct audience, and playing games that I really enjoyed, like Fear and Hunger and Fear and Hunger 2. So yeah. Runner up though is going to go to Second Wind. Good job, guys, on shedding the corporate shackles. And just being like, fuck that, starting their own thing. Like, who would have thought that the company, like, that Yahtzee Croshaw would jump ship from Escapist, the thing that he's known for, and join this new thing and essentially do the exact same show, but, like, slightly different color scheme and shit. It's a huge fuck you. Second Wind is a massive finger to that corporate crap, and I love it. And honestly, I find it's actually better than what they were producing before, because I feel like they're putting more passion into it. So, yeah.
Fair.
My winner is going to go to, it's a bit of a tie, because it's going to go to Indestructible Boy / D&D Shorts. Now, the reason why it's a tie is because back in January of this year, like early January, I'm talking like January 3rd, baby, Wizards of the Coast kind of like dropped some, leaked some news. No, they didn't, but other people did. Leaked the news that Wizards of the Coast was trying to tighten the reins on their on third-party publishers publishing things for D&D. And what that means is, if third-party publishers were going to agree to this OGL, the Open Gaming License, the new one they created.
Oh my god, that was this year.
That was this year.
Wow.
If they had agreed to that, basically that would like tie a noose around their necks, because there are a lot of Kickstarters that came out, as well as like new companies that came out who were making just the right amount for Wizards of the Coast to be like, hey, you make too much money off our property. We're going to take like 75% of that. Well, it was less than that. It was like 30% of that, but still. A good chunk. A good sizable chunk. So, Indestructible Boy, back in September of last year, of 2022, was the one to originally say, hey, this shit's happening. I have proof. And then everybody went like, fuck you. You're just starting drama. Screw you. And they shut him down. And then January happened, and he's like, "What did I tell you?" But here's the thing: he stayed on it as much as possible. But Indestructible Boy, he can only do so much, and his audience is not as wide-reaching as D&D Shorts, which is the other guy who reported on all this as it was happening, and essentially became the spearhead of news for the OGL scandal coming out of Wizards of the Coast. So between the two of them, and there were tons of other people talking about this at the same time, Like, trust me, so many people were like, what are we going to do? Because this doesn't affect just publishers. It affects third-party creators of all kinds. Like, it affects YouTubers, streamers, everybody. Anybody who's doing anything with D&D was going to basically have their business ripped out of their hands and put in control of Wizards of the Coast. And it took a colossal effort, spearheaded by these two people, to essentially gather everybody up. And we all went, fuck you, WotC. Go fuck yourselves. We're not doing this shit. And it essentially, for the most part, worked. And yeah. We're now at a point where Wizards of the Coast had to cut their staff, but, that was not because of the original scandal.
No, they didn't have to.
They didn't have to, no.
Hasbro being...
Did I say have to? I didn't mean that. Hasbro decided to cut their staff because they wanted to keep their executives rich.
Uh-huh. What matters.
What matters, yes. Anyway, that's my miscellaneous Internet Media of the Year. What's your MIM?
So my MIM, my honorable mention is going to go to... it's a sort of sub-podcast series within The Journal, which is a podcast from the Wall Street Journal.
Okay. Yep.
But they had one specifically about the Sam Bankman-Fried trial.
Okay.
So he is the guy who was the head of FTX, the crypto exchange. And me, as somebody who's like, crypto's dumb, NFTs are dumb.
Yeah.
It's a really good podcast because and I apologize, I forget their names, I didn't write it down, but the two women who host it, they keep it journalistically professional while also going, God, this guy's such a loser idiot. But they also interject it with fun things where they'll just talk about like, oh yeah, it turns out like every 8th cup of coffee you buy at the courthouse, you get a free one. So I'm taking an extra one at lunch, and then I could get a free coffee tomorrow. Or they're like, hey, we found out if you order a pie in the morning, you can just get this like delicious like fruit pie by the afternoon, and it's like the most delicious pie you've had at a courthouse. Mm-hmm. I'm like, it's just, if you think crypto is dumb, I highly suggest this one. It's very good.
Cool.
Speaking of dumb, The Pastimes.
The Pastimes.
So this is sort of another sub-podcast from The Dollop. They just go through mostly old newspapers, and old newspapers are insane.
Yeah,
because it'll be like, today... 33-year-old Jack Thompson was murdered at his home at 514 West Islington Street, New York. And you're like, why are you? Or it'll just be like, Mabel Hutchinson saw a bunch of pigs running through the street at her home. And you're like, why are you giving her address? This is crazy. What are you doing?
The widow lives at 312
You just get,
Maple Street.
The entire story is just like, today, train derailed, 14 dead.
Moving on.
Okay. What? No. What? Hey, I'm newspaper. What do you know?
I mean,
what?
Where?
What? There has to be more.
Yeah.
Where it's like, hey, that's buried on page 3. You know what's on page 1?
What?
Old Dean Thompson managed to dig up an old bucket.
Ooh, okay.
Like, what are you doing, newspapers?
That's cool. Good for Dean Thompson.
They're insane. They're so insane. It doesn't make sense.
They don't.
But
winner.
my number one this year is the YouTube channel Defunct Land.
Defunct Land's so good, Hassan.
Yeah, so and like the number one thing I'm going to point people towards, it technically came out last year, but it was the very tail end of last year. They did a documentary about who made the Disney Channel theme. And it is one of the most riveting documentaries ever. I have shown it to at least 3 other people, and they've gone, I need to show this to somebody else. I know someone who will love this.
Yeah. It's a good doc.
It's not just that, it's going over, who made the theme, but it is going into like, what does it mean to be an artist and your legacy and all these things. Yeah. I don't want to spoil it because it's incredible. Also, they put out other fantastic works and just some of their other documentaries. throughout the years have been fantastic. I also highly recommend the one where they go over the Disneyland Fast Pass and whether it works or doesn't. At one point, there's like, and the only way you would ever figure this out is, by hiring an engineer and, paying a ton of money to do computer simulations.
Yeah.
So I hired an engineer and paid a bunch of money for computer simulations. Turns out the Fast Pass has made lines worse.
Oh, cool.
This is, as someone who does not care about theme parks, never been to one.
Same.
At one point, my parents, when I was younger, me and my brother, they asked, like, you guys want to go to Disneyland? We're like, not really. It's not our thing.
Seems kind of dumb.
But I'm just fascinated by the channel.
Yeah.
Highly recommend it.
Go.
Kevin Percher is great. One last thing about it, highly recommend he did an interview for Adam, I can't think of his last name. Adam Ruins the Internet.
Adam Conover.
Yes, he did a podcast, and there's just a really good one about the Wiggles where it's just Kevin losing mind. He's like, you don't know about the Wiggles? And I was like, do you understand how weird the phrases you're saying of like, no, I don't know the song Toot Toot Chugga Chugga Big Red Car. Why would I know this song?
Why wouldn't you know it? It's a classic.
Yeah. And Kevin's just like, man, I guess sometimes you just get in the bubble of your own world. Everybody knows this song that I know.
Yeah, right.
Like, oh, this is great.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are my MIMS, as we're calling it.
Oh. Yep, MIMS.
Your classy drink.
My classy drink. It's also not even... It's not a high-proof drink. It's just... It's artichoke liqueur. It's very sweet in the front, and then it's very bitter at the very... I actually like it in things. It's a great mix. Anyway, what do you want to do? Movies, comics, cartoons? Video games are last.
Let's go. Yeah, let's go movies. So I'll start.
You do it.
My honorable mention is going to go to the Tetris movie. I really like this style of like pseudo documentary is what I'm gonna call it.
Yeah, docudrama.
Docudrama where technically it is based on the story, but it embellishes it, and especially I think even if you don't know a lot of the video game history, it is or video game I don't want to say characters, personalities, people. For example, there's a scene of I can't think of Nintendo's first president, but him and Howard Lincoln just running down the hallway from the KGB, and it's just so stupid. Like Howard Lincoln would never do this, but this is fantastic. This is great. I love this. It's a real goofy, fun movie.
It's cool.
My runner-up goes to Godzilla -1. It's been a while since Godzilla's been good. For me, the last Godzilla film I liked was the 2014 Legendary one.
Yeah, sure.
This one is set just after World War II, so we're kind of going back to the original timeline. And it is so full of these, really fitting for kind of World War II era movie, rousing speeches. We all have to come together and fight this monster, blah blah blah. And A, they work, but B, for example, there's one moment where they're just on this dinghy. It just has this tiny mounted gun, and they're basically told, "Hey, you have to distract Godzilla. You've got to keep him there until this warship arrives, and the warship is going to take him out in these two dinghies." And the captain of the dinghy is like, "Even if we have to die, we do this to protect Japan."
Hell yeah.
And Godzilla shows up, and it just destroys the one dinghy. He's like, "Nope, screw that. We're out of here. Let's go." Yeah. This is really good. Also, this movie, budget estimated less than $15 million. Somehow, it's the first movie I've seen in a while that it felt like, when it had big crowd scenes, they were all people and not just CGI.
That's cool.
This film looks better than so many other films, and it costs a fraction of them. It is embarrassing that Hollywood cannot make films like this anymore. Its over-reliance on special effects is ruining a lot of films.
I fully agree. Well, what's your winner?
So my winner is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Mutant Mayhem. That film, it's I have rarely laughed that hard at a film. Nice. Some of those jokes in there, it felt like, oh, this is in many ways targeted at me. Like there's a scene where it's one of the first times that they go and they fight these sort of criminals, and a car ends up just kind of spinning around, and I forget which of the turtles it is. One of them just goes, "He's Tokyo drifting around me." I was like, oh my God, that sounds exactly like something I would say to a friend. I love that.
Good stuff.
Have you seen this?
No, I haven't yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Slight spoiler here.
Oh, go ahead. Well, I don't mind. Yes.
There's
everybody
a scene,
else might though.
there is a scene where they are in a vehicle and they start playing the He-Man like spoof version of Hey Ya. Like it's literally that He-Man version, and it's like they went out of their way to get this.
Of what's going on?
You mean? Incredible. Yes.
Hey ya.
Yeah. No, it's like the He-Man because it even
like Three
does
Down Blondes. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not that version. It's the He-Man one that we all know.
It's my little cat, Mr. Cringer Pants.
I can't believe that they got that somehow.
Yeah.
They literally would have had to go out, and I'm pretty sure, because I don't think that cover was official, so I'm pretty sure they had to buy a license for the person who made that song to then legally be able to. It's incredible. I love the movie. It's got some fantastic jokes. The characters are really good. I look forward to the sequel. The number one thing I can say about this film, as my highest level of praise, it made Mondo Gecko not lame.
Oh, that's cool. I like Mondo Gecko's design, so that's good.
I've never liked Mondo Gecko. I loved him in this film. Cool. Let's hear about your movies.
All right. Honorable mention. We're getting a little spooky in here. Because my honorable mention goes to Skinamarink. Came out technically this year, last year during a Sunday.
That's Sharon, Lois, and Brown are not that scary.
Skinamarink-y dinky. Yeah, no. I mean,
I think that's them, right?
Yeah, that is them, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So Skinamarink is, first off, it is a Canadian film, so of course they are playing off that little thing. Because when you say Skinamarink, it's like, if you're Canadian, yeah, Skinamarink-y dinky dink. But this is a horror movie with a lot of teeth, and that is saying something because it is probably equal parts one of the most boring movies ever watched in my life, and also one of the most fascinating.
Also, I just have to look it up because apparently that's just like a term from a musical.
I think so. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right.
Anyway, yeah. So, Skinamarink, good flick. I don't want to say much more about it besides that. It is a horror film. It is the most tense movie I've ever seen in my life.
It was Lois, wasn't it?
It was not Lois. No. And it's one of the most intense movies I've ever seen in my life, and that is including the Hateful Eight. So, yeah, my runner-up is going to go to Nimona.
That was really good.
I really liked that. That was good. Like I've read the original work.
I didn't realize it was based off something.
Yeah, it's N. Stevenson's work.
Okay.
They wrote and drew Nimona back years ago, and the fact that it finally got made into a movie was mind-blowing to me. But I'm glad it did, because I mean, they did a good job with the source material, and they really nailed the tone of Nimona.
The punk rock aesthetic I really liked.
Yeah, weird punk rock, fantasy sci-fi aesthetic is perfect. Great jokes, good pacing. It's a movie that really respects my time. In fact, that's kind of a running theme for the movies that have won for me, and it's the movies I've seen that I've even considered on this list is that, hey, do you respect my time?
Yeah, probably mine are on the shorter end too. None of them are all that long.
No, if you're above 2 hours in any way, I typically don't
take 2 hours. Once you start hitting that 3 hour mark,
I'm fine with 2 hour 15.
That should be a mini series at that point or something.
Exactly. And And my winner, though, is going to go
Is
to...
Avatar 2, because you love 4-hour films.
Well, that came out last year, so that's too bad.
You could still give it this.
I guess it could, you're right, yeah. My winner is going to be Tetris. I really liked the Tetris movie. It was a shocker to me because, like, look, here's the thing. When they announced they're doing a Tetris movie, everybody was like, is it just going to be giant blocks falling from the sky? You need to kind of like save the world from that stuff. Who cares? But then it was just like
that
really
was weird that they announced it as a Tetris movie, not a movie about the making of Tetris.
Yeah, but it did the job. It got people talking about it. So yeah. But the main thing is like it's a good spy thriller.
Yes,
and I love me a spy thriller. Like it's this one is beautifully paced. The bromance between the two main characters is really good. Like trying to get like this American who lives in Japan, buying the rights to Tetris to sell to Nintendo and consoles and handhelds. And then first off, finding out that Nintendo has a handheld happening.
The way they do it is if they're like revealing nuclear code secrets to him, and you're like, why are they in a white lab? This is so stupid. I love it.
He goes into the lab, and it's like they have a fucking nuclear bomb they're working on, and he's like, "What is this? This, sir, is the Game Boy." It's played so seriously, but it's like, it's funny, but it's not like laugh out funny. It's so irreverent and just wonderful. And like the villains are over the top, and it's perfect.
Except I was gonna say they are, except for I can't remember his name, but the media mogul guy, where it's like, he was more evil than this guy.
He was actually, yes. Surprise, surprise. But yeah, I thought they did a great job with the movie, and like, yeah, all power to them. That was amazing.
Yeah.
Moving on then. From movies to, what do you say, comics or cartoons?
Let's do comics.
Comics, yeah. I guess I'll go first then.
Sure.
All right. So, here is the usual reading of everything I have read this year, the list of it, as I do every year. So Spy X Family, My Dress for Darling, Dan to Dan, Chainsaw Man, Kagurabachi, Dog's Red for manga. Web Stuff, Kill 6 Billion Demons, Beach Wizard, Mr. Levenstein, Dollar and Wolf. Good little indie comic. What? Look shocked.
Did you say Mr. Levenstein?
Yeah, Mr. Levenstein.
Okay, nope, go on.
You know these comics.
Not Levenstein.
How would you pronounce it? Lovenstein?
I just, because in my head I'm picturing a Frankenstein monster, but who just makes love to people.
No, okay.
Oh, now I'm disappointed.
I'll show you. Anyway.
No, it's fine. You can go on.
Should have been weird porn.
I wasn't questioning your pronunciation. I was questioning the content of the comic.
Oh, no, it's not that. Anyway, so for DC, Nightwing, Detective Comics, Catwoman, Batman, Superman, and then the other Catwoman series that came out. I read two of those.
It's pronounced Catwomen.
Oh, Catwomen. Marvel, X-Men, Ghost Rider, Mortal X-Men, X-Men Red, Spider-Man, Miles Morales, Spider-Man, Superior, Spider-Man Spectacular, Spider-Man Amazing, Moon Knight, She-Hulk, so many more, the Way of X, etc. I could go on. A lot of X-Men comics came out this year. For indie stuff is Barbaric, Hunger and Dusk, Petrolhead, Sirens of the City, Radiant Black, and Dark Ride. There's actually a smaller amount of stuff that I read than last year. Surprising. Yeah.
All right. Well, what are your winners?
Honorable mention is going to go to Ghost Rider.
That's a surprise.
Yeah, surprised me too.
Ghost Rider's not exactly historically the best written comic.
It really depends who's writing it, but yeah, it had an amazing run back in like the late 2000s, and then after that it kind of petered out, and it had weird runs here or there. But the latest stuff is really, really good. It's basically scratching the itch of like something like the Supernatural would, because you have You have Johnny
Just-
Blaze.
Sorry, just to be clear,
Yeah.
not the Wincest part of it, though, right?
No.
Okay.
No. Yeah, there's none of that. They mentioned that as a tongue in cheek kind of thing.
Oh,
Yeah, because Benjamin Percy likes to fuck with people. But this is such a well written, serialized comic where basically it's Johnny Blaze going across America with like his on again girlfriend who's a warlock, and sometimes Danny Ketch, sometimes Jaime Reyes. He's Blue Beetle.
Yep.
The other guy who's also who's from California and also Ghost Rider, going around with them and solving ghost mysteries, but instead of like how like a Supernatural or whatever has to adhere to like a low PG-13 rating kind of thing, this is like, nah, we got an M rating, so we'll just go and show you all the horrible gore that you want to see in the Marvel comic. And yeah, it's good. It's good stuff. It's good. It's good horror comics. It's a good serial comic. Yeah, can't get enough of it. My runner-up is Chainsaw Man. Speaking of horror comics, I wasn't really all that keen on part 2 of Chainsaw Man when it first came out, but the more I read it, the more I loved it.
Yeah, I think a lot of people fall off it because it's the best way I can describe it is it's more zine-like.
It really is.
It the previous felt more like a manga.
Yep.
This one feels more, I don't even think deconstructive it would be the word. Almost more combative to its audience.
Yeah.
That it's not necessarily giving you as satisfactory an experience as I think a lot of people were expecting.
I agree with that. Yeah, but it's something about it works though, because there are all these like factors kind of like playing on Denji right now, and they all work. He's torn in so many different ways, and he's just trying to live a normal life at this point. And it's such a distillation of the superhero problem that he's found himself in the middle of, to a point where like all he's got to do is rip that cord and become a Chainsaw Man, and he's pretty much going to like he's pretty much going to A, ruin his life, and B, regain his life. And, well, a different one, though. And it's such a fascinating tug of war that's happening. But my comic of the year is going to go to The Hunger in the Dusk. Now, this one kind of surprised me because I really like fantasy comics. And it's hard to come by like a really well written one, because in comics tend to have a bit of a gonzo property to them, especially American comics. They tend to go off the rails pretty quickly, even in manga. But in manga it's more acceptable, and as well as like American comics as well. But sometimes when you're looking for something a little more serious, it's hard to find that, especially one that pays. That basically provides you with a good, solid story, and is also a romance story. So so The Hunger in the Dusk is essentially a story about a troop of a company of mercenaries who are all human, who have been together with their, who have taken on essentially a orc priestess, who, as a sign of camaraderie and working together, because they're done being enemies. There's a long-term race war that had happened, and they're like, hey, we have worse things to deal with right now. Let's just put bygones be bygones, put everything aside. Let's shake hands, and we're gonna just kind of work with each other and see where this goes, because there's a horrible thing coming down the mountain basically and across the waters and all this stuff, and we are going to get wiped out if we are not careful. And the comic is such a, like I said, it's a very serious, but a very a very centric fantasy comic. It keeps everything really close to the chest. It plays a little bit with like the more Tolkien-esque tropes of fantasy, but likes to do things its own way. It's very low fantasy as well, so things feel very crunchy, and when magic happens, it's like, yeah, like I could do that right at that moment because like energies were up and high, but normally I can't do that because, you know, when things calm down, you know. But even when that happens, it's more so that like magic is an afterthought in this world, and it's such a well-developed world and a really well-developed story, and like it's got that will they won't they energy to it between the priestess and the main character, and the other main character I should say, and then it's like, yeah, it's really, really well done.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so my and mine are all just manga of the year. Gonna butcher this first one.
Butcher it, baby.
My honorable mention goes to Matsupura Hotel, which it's not quite slice of life, but that's probably the closest that you can really put it into, other than just calling it a drama.
Yeah.
The general gist of it is that this roughly 18-year-old boy from Japan comes to Finland searching for his mother, and ends up working at this fairly small hotel. Yeah. And then it's kind of just about his experiences there and sort of becoming a man, for lack of a better term, while being there. Yeah, it is not the most, you know, emotionally charged or in-depth. I would generally say it's fairly breezy in a way, but overall really like it. Found it to be very enjoyable, and I like the way that there are certain mangas where they will just get very into the subject matter, and into the culture, and so it's just very interesting having this set in Finland and it going into just Finnish customs, kind of way of life, in a modern sense, you know, not a historical one. It is, as far as I'm aware, set in roughly modern day. My runner-up, one I only just recently got into, I think this is how you say it, Frieren.
Oh, Frieren.
I really like that. It's a very
it's solid,
dry take on almost D&D in a way, where you know, the hero's party, or not necessarily D&D, but on like
RPG tropes.
Well, like, and it sucks, I'm saying like not D&D, but you're like Drizzt Do'Urden style fantasy novels, you know.
So D&D, yeah.
Yeah, like the, hey, here's the adventurers party going off to slay the Demon King or whatever, but it's just the characters, especially the titular character, Frieren, just very dry in a lot of it, and I really appreciate that. It's a very different take on things. I will also say it's one where it takes a little bit while before it gets into kind of bigger arcs and more in-depth stories. Probably takes close to like, I think it'd be at least 40 chapters before it gets to, and it's kind of cliche for a manga, but until it literally gets to the battle tournament arc.
Hell yeah.
Turns
out.
But really good. Highly enjoy it. Definitely recommend. But my winner goes to Spy Family. The reason it goes to Spy Family is I don't think that objectively Spy Family is the best manga. You know, it is fairly mainstream in its writing. You know, you're gonna get far better written, more kind of short series, indie series, etc. But the reason that I'm giving it to Spy Family is that I think it does a lot with how it handles its subject matter for kind of a shonen
sure.
manga. Plenty of shonen manga deal with death and certain serious topics. Naruto has dealt with it. Bleach has it. Trying to think of other like really Jujutsu Kaisen, like all these things. They have these elements of death, etc. The thing that I appreciate with Spy Family is that even though they are these fictional countries of Westalia and Osteria
is
the other one.
Yep. That's it.
When it gives us some of Lloyd's backstory and we see the actual ramifications of war, or there's the sort of arc where these terrorists kidnap the bus and they're holding the children hostage, and we see, hey, the reason the leader is doing this is because he lost his daughter and he feels like nothing is being done in this country. Like, it having more less barriers to just going, no, this is it taking on real world politics, real world issues. I really appreciate that, and I think it's where that shines and stands above a lot of other mainstream shonen style manga that's out there. But then conversely, it just has some really good, fun characters.
Yes.
Anya in particular, it's such a great idea of, oh, here's this devious, conniving little shithead that is also a complete and utter numbskull. So all of her devious schemes blow up in her face. But she is kind of pure-hearted at the end of the day. So, hey, even if her schemes blow up, it still kind of works out. Like, she didn't get, she didn't get her banquet, but, hey, her mom was like, well, you helped out this kid, so we're going to get you a cake. It's like, yay! Good old Anya.
Yay!
Idiot. So, cartoon has to be next, right?
Cartoon!
Capitalized game.
Cartoon/animation, yeah.
All right, well,
it's yours.
I'll start. So, this is my one cheat. I always have my one cheat where I give a award to multiple shows.
Sure.
Typically, so when I try and highlight the things that I have, I try not to have repeats year over year. I do my best usually.
Yeah.
This year there was just 2 shows that was impossible. I had to acknowledge them. So my honorable mentions go to 2 shows, The Owl House and Pantheon.
I knew it.
Very different shows for very different reasons. They're amongst my favorites. I think they both do some incredible writing. The Owl House, just how invested you get into some of those characters and the way that it can have these incredibly tender, emotional moments of these characters trying to really deal with being kids in these terrible situations that are way above their age. I still think basically when Luz has died and her just going, oh, I realized what I should have said. I should have told them thank you. It's like that is a killer line.
Right.
And then conversely, Pantheon, I can't say enough about that. One of the greatest shows ever made, but it's gotten its accolades before. So that's why I'm just giving an honorable mention. My runner-up, gonna go to Droners.
Ooh, really? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm giving it to that not because I think it's like the best show out there. I think it's a pretty
seems pretty standard in some ways.
Standard in terms of how it handles writing and characters and all that. It is something that and it's why I'm giving it the award, actually, is that while it feels like something we've seen a million times before, you could point to tons of cartoons out there that did kind of similar ideas. It also feels like the kind of cartoon we don't get much of anymore. Of, hey, here's this 26 episode season, and it's just here's the subject of the week where the characters have to learn about trust, or hey, the characters have to learn to cooperate, those kind of like life lesson episodes or however you want to put it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And just having this kind of light, easy to digest show, but I really like the art style, well animated.
Yeah.
It was the kind of thing that's like, oh man, sometimes you just want some real, like, stereotypical in a way TV, and maybe we should make more of that. We've had this conversation elsewhere of like,
sometimes you need that, man. I agree.
They need to start making more TV shows that are like TV shows instead of big epic dramas.
Yeah, we don't need that all the time.
I don't think it's a surprise. My winner is going to go to My Adventures with Superman.
What a great show, son! I'm glad you chose that.
Yeah, just a fantastic take on Superman. It just has the most Superman moments ever. Like other people pointed to this, but it really is. Hey, they give you some very indulgent and luxurious kind of Superman. The one where, and there's two parts of it that I love in this episode, but where kind of Lois and Kent are fighting. They're going to this mysterious base, and these lasers get shot, and Kent goes in front of it, and Lois is just like, I didn't know you were laser proof. It's like, well, neither did I. I just knew that you weren't. Like, yes, that is perfect. Yeah. But then also in the episode where it's the most perfect version of Monsieur Mala and I can't think of the other, not the robot.
No.
His name is escaping me now.
Sorry. Mr. Mala.
But their version of those two is just chef's kiss. Their Mixel-Pedalic and all the just fun Easter eggs they put in that episode. Love it. Fantastic. Can't wait for season 2. Let's hear about your cartoons of the year.
No problem. Also, just as an FYI, it's Monsieur Mala and the Brain.
The Brain, that's it.
Nothing too, yeah. All right, so my animation of the year, my cartoons of the year. Honorable mention is going to go to Heavenly Delusion / Tengoku Daimyako, because they changed the name on Disney Plus.
Sorry, what is Heavenly Delusions? Did you say
Delusion? Yes,
Delusions. Okay,
I'm glad you asked because fucking Disney Plus didn't market it or anything, but this is one of the best anime I've seen this season, hands down. It is like okay.
Oh, okay. Yes, I did. I tried to read it and I bounced off of it.
Sure. But you know how like and
is this on Disney?
It's on Disney Plus, yeah. Right? You wouldn't know.
I don't understand why Disney, the animes they take are ones that I just don't think suit them.
No.
Like, why aren't they taking the lighter, more slice of life ones that you go, yeah, these seem like they would appeal to a Disney fan.
Yeah,
Instead, they're taking things like this and Bleach where you're going, these seem more violent and
this is definitely more
Disney.
Violent. Yeah, so here's the thing. So Disney took this show as well as last year's hidden gem, which is Summertime Rendering. If you watch Mother's Basement at all, Jeff Thu and we fully agree on the same things here when it comes to Disney Plus's anime selection. Is that they pick some amazing shows to run on that streaming service. My God, they don't do anything at all to actually promote them. They fall to the wayside and nobody knows about them. So Heavenly Delusions on Disney Plus. Okay, I like the manga enough, but the anime is really good because, and honestly, I'm gonna crib this from Mother's Basement as well because he's right. So it is one of those shows. You know how like everybody talks about, they don't make anime the way they used to, like Cowboy Bebop and Akira and like stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't fully agree with that take, but I certainly know that take.
I don't either because first off, Heavenly Delusion is one of those in 2023. It full on feels like one of those older shows, while still being fresh and interesting, and has just a awesome sci-fi conspiracy plot that I think just rivals anything on TV these days. And like the action's frenetic, the character writing is just beautiful. It's so good. And somehow this is only my honorable mention. My honorable mention.
Okay.
My runner-up, Vinland Saga. I have no enemies. Just fucking what a line. What a killer delivery for that line too.
That show is finished, right?
Season 2 is finished, yeah. It's
okay, but there is a season 3 coming?
I would assume manga's still going on, so yeah. So Vinland Saga Season 2 is the most interesting farming simulator I've ever had to watch. That's basically it. So like, you have your two main characters who are now slaves, and they have to farm their way out of poverty and into being free and not being owned. And then shit hits the fan, and it all culminates with Thorfinn basically walking up to the King of England, who he used to be friends with, and be like, "You fucking suck. And you suck so hard, I don't want to fight you. And it's not because I'm afraid of you. It's because I'm a pacifist now. I know what a warrior actually does. It's not this shit." God, yes, what a show.
Yeah, it's
killer.
I don't know it super well, but I know it well enough to know like the saga part of it really is the perfect descriptor, because it really does have that style of the flow of the story and the overall way of the story of being those old kind of sagas where you say it's like a farming simulator. It's like hey, you go back and you actually read like old sagas and epics, whether it's the Iliad, whether it's something like the actual like stories of King Arthur, or I think a movie that came out a couple of years ago that also perfectly did that, The Green Knight. They kind of just have these elements where like, hey, character's just kind of gonna walk and talk to a character here, and the character's just gonna tell them a story.
Yep. Exactly.
It kind of has no relevance or bearing or weight to the rest of it. It's just, well, this is their life. This is just how these stories were told, because somebody didn't sit down and go, okay, here's the story I want to tell. It's just a bunch of folk stuff that got mushed together and then weird. Let's hear about
truly a saga. My winner. I don't think you need to. I don't think I need to say who my winner is. I think you already know what my winner is, Hassan.
Don't say Bots Master. Please don't say Bots
It's Bots Master. That came out in 1990.
Damn it.
It came out in 1990. It's not Bots Master.
Oh, thank God.
I've already watched it anyway, so like years ago.
Years, sure.
Yesterday.
Checks out.
No, my winner of 2023. I guess technically, I think I won last year too. It doesn't matter. I don't care. It's Pantheon. Pantheon is just first off. Here's the thing. I'm fine with giving it 2 years in a row if I have. I can't remember if I did or not. Doesn't matter, because even if I did, it deserves it. I think season 2. I actually like season 2 even more than season 1, because like they just had the gall to go and do some crazy stuff. And honestly, I appreciate that. I like a show that's willing to go and do something weird and interesting. And by the end of season 2 of Pantheon, it gives you so much. It gives you so much. And like, they didn't get anything in return. They didn't ask for anything back. Maybe just watch it a little bit.
I don't know that I've ever watched another show where at the end of each episode, it's just like, I just need to go sleep now.
Yeah.
It's like, I need to shut my brain off, because I don't know if I'll ever be able to shut it off. If I stay up now, I'm screwed. I'm good. It's maybe the one show I feel like I could just, walk into some sports arena or whatever full of people, and I can just go up to the mic and just go like 117,639 or whatever the number is, and like you would just see some people be like, I have to leave. I have to leave. I have to leave. I can't be
You'll
here
see
anymore.
like 5 people. Like, oh god.
Like, oh no, oh no,
They're
oh
panicking
no,
out.
where'd this go?
Yeah. Yeah. Amazing. The fact that they've just done it. And
Shouting from the rooftop how good it is. I'm literally not kidding. I harass friends. I'm like, no, you have to watch this. You don't understand. This show is.
yeah, I stopped my Blades in the Dark session for about 10 minutes to explain why Pantheon is really good.
Yeah.
We're in the middle of combat. I was like, oh, because someone just happened to mention simulation theory during my fantasy thief game, and I was like, simulation theory, you say? Well, how about you watch Pantheon? Yeah, Pantheon is hands. Like I said, they gave everything they could in this show. Everything is there. There is not a show this year that I have ended each episode going, okay, yeah, okay, yeah, and just like angrily clicking the next episode because I love it so much.
Yeah.
It's such a confluence of emotions for me, and it's hard to describe exactly why I have these emotions, but man, buddy, they are there. And Pantheon, yeah. Honestly, if I was going to give anything like my thing of the year, it's Pantheon. So.
Yeah, it's just incredible.
Yeah. So, that said, game of the year. Here's what we'll do, I think, this year. Want to go, like, ping-pong it? Like, I'll do my honorable mention, you do yours. Back and forth.
Sure.
Like that. Yeah, sounds good.
I'll actually go first.
Yeah,
just
sure.
My winner is... It's weird. We'll get to it. So my honorable mention is going to go to Star Wars Jedi Survivor.
Sure.
Which is the sequel to Star Wars
Fallen
Fallen Order.
Yeah. That takes me a long time, too.
Yeah. For anyone who doesn't know, these are basically Souls-like games in the Star Wars universe.
Sound like the Souls-like. Sound like the Souls-like.
I do. I really like these games. I've actually played through this game twice. It had some issues at launch. I even encountered it. I got a bug where I couldn't progress in the story at one point.
Oh, really?
So I went off for a couple of hours to go do side. Like, I literally tried about a dozen times to get past this point.
Yeah,
and the game kept crashing. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go off, do some side story stuff.
Okay. Yeah.
I will... And then I had something to do that night, came back the next day, got through it fine. I don't know, it was weird. Otherwise, I actually didn't have that many problems with it technically, but I certainly know it had them. But that game still continues to have some really good character writing. The combat's fantastic.
Sure.
This one, it makes it a little bit more sort of open world.
Yeah, I heard it gets a little...
on this planet, it's a little more... Yeah, where you're doing a little bit more exploring. There's still, parts of it that are cut off. It still has that Metroidvania element, but it's still just really good. And I wish more of the Souls-like took from this game, where the combat just feels... I don't necessarily want to say tighter, but certainly it just feels more responsive. Is kind of how I would put it. Because I would be really into the genre overall if they were more like this. But that's my honorable mention. What's yours?
Mine is going to go to October's World of Horror. Here's the thing. I actually have not played a ton of World of Horror, but there is no game that is on my list.
This game, yes.
Yeah, World of Horror. That is on my list that I know that if I start this up, I'm going to sink hours into. Because World of Horror, I think, is just a cool thing. It looks like a Junji Ito manga. It plays like an old school, like, Mac OS X, like, 1980s, like, game. It looks like that. You can change your color palettes. It's fun. The characters are interesting. The monsters are cool. The scenarios are ripped right from, like, Eldritch Horror stuff that I love. The final scene where you have to climb the lighthouse and, like, test your... Like, there's the point where you have to, like, test your knowledge of, like, what the monsters you fought were. All this stuff. It really simulates being in one of these stories and what it means to be an investigator in a horror story. And it's just like, it really gets it. And if I had played Alan Wake 2, this would probably be there instead. But like,
I started playing Alan Wake 2, and let me tell you, buddy, that game is intense.
yeah.
But it only just started, so that's why it's not on my list.
That's fair. I don't have access to Epic, so I'm waiting for it to come out on Steam.
That's fair.
I still have that problem where things have been India. Anyway, World of Horror doesn't think that, though. Great game. Everybody should check it out. What's your runner-up?
My runner-up is going to go to Hi-Fi Rush.
Oh, hell yeah.
Look, music is just a huge part of my life.
Yes.
This game so brilliantly intertwines music.
It's so
and I talked about this before, that I think games in general are really bad at utilizing music.
I agree.
And what I mean by that is, it's not that games have bad music, but it's that very few games take advantage of music and incorporate them in more interesting ways. For example, I actually think a game series that does a really good job with it was the Saints Row series, where Saints Row 3, it has that moment where it's sort of the final mission, and it's basically, hey, you either have to go stop the villain or rescue Shondi. And it starts playing I Need a Hero, or Holding Out for Hero.
Holding Out for Hero. Bonnie Tyler,
and it just plays it over it the whole time, over loading screens, anything. Yes. It's like, this is really smart. Or the fourth movie, where your character literally jumps onto a rocket, and so it starts playing Aerosmith's Don't Want to Miss You, Babe.
Yep.
Yes. Okay.
I don't know why that's the right choice, but that was the right choice. Yes.
Yeah. But it incorporates it. And Hi-Fi Rush takes that to the next level, where it goes, hey, what if we made a character action game, but you have to play it to the music? And on top of that, it's a more alt rock focused thing, where I'm somebody who's into like more like, I don't even want to, like, not obscure, but I am into like heavier metal.
Yeah.
It's I'm not talking like Metallica. I am talking, like crust punk is basically my favorite genre. And so that this then has, like 9 Inch Nails, that, hey, it's going to have a fight.
I could have used a little more industrial.
My perfect drug. And you're just like, yes, this is what I want. This is perfect. I really like the visuals.
It's cool.
The main reason it didn't win is just some of the like writing and characters are kind of
that's fair.
The not so much the action platforming, but the running around in general platforming, I don't think feels great. So
that's fair.
It
feels like Devil May Cry.
Well, I think Devil May Cry feels better to run around in, is the thing.
Really? Okay, sure.
Yeah, I just like the way that your character double jumps in that, or can float, or even just the feeling of the running. Because Hi-Fi Rush, everything has to be on the beat. It does mean when you're kind of just walking around, it's a little
weird,
awkward. Yeah. So that's why it just didn't win. But incredible game, adore it. I hope there is a Hi-Fi Rush 2 or some more games similar to this.
Same.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah, I will say this with Hi-Fi Rush. I would say that Devil May Cry wishes it was Hi-Fi Rush. And I love Devil May Cry, but I think Hi-Fi Rush maybe does it just a little bit in the combat section.
I think Hi-Fi Rush is better than Devil May Cry 5.
Ooh, that's Fighting Wars. That game is really good. So
it was okay, I think. But let's hear your runner-up.
My runner-up is the game I sunk the most hours into this year, which hands down goes to Baldur's Gate 3.
So your runner-up, huh?
Yeah,
okay.
I know, right? Ooh, what could be
the Gate 3 real good?
What could be the winner, Hassan? Who knows? Great game.
So, man, have you played that with anyone else yet?
Not yet. No. I really want to. I know
that game with other people is so good, because the thing that
play D&D
is like the best part of, but the thing that's the best part of it, is that unlike D&D, it has all that chaos in that, but the difference will be like you'll just be like talking to a shopkeep, and all of a sudden you'll just hear the sound of dice roll. You're like, what are you doing?
You did not
Why am I hearing dice rolling? It's like, don't worry about it. And then you just start to hear battle music. Like, what? We're in a city. Who are you fighting in the middle of the city? Do I need to stop talking to shopkeeper? It's like, no, it's fine. And you hear like, yeah, actually, if you could show up, more people are here than I thought.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh, God.
Always get ahead.
It's that incredible thing of the chaos and just the hijinks of D&D.
Yes.
But instead of it, being, because with D&D, it's not like, oh, if you're doing something, the rest of the table doesn't know what's happening. You can sort of do that, but this takes that to next level, and it's with other people.
Yeah. Yeah, at some point I'm going to play with other people for sure. But even still, just based on the single player campaign alone, yeah, I think that Baldur's Gate 3 is really extremely good. I've done 1 and 2/3 playthroughs of the game. One full one on my first time around, and that was really good. And then I started playing as a Dark Urge character for my second playthrough. Got about to near the end of Act 2, almost there. And that's some good stuff. The only thing that's stopping me is that I already kind of let the Selune priestess die in the first run by accident, so I don't want to do it again.
As in, what's his face's daughter?
Yeah.
Oh,
Cordash's daughter. Yeah, it was totally by accident. Basically, he sent in his
no, not Gortash.
Not Gortash. No,
God,
Korvac.
No,
the necromancer guy. You know what I mean? The immortal dude.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. I got her killed by accident because stupid ass his winged angel dude flew down and took her out in 3 hits. And I was like, well, yeah, if you just stand there and don't do anything, sure, I guess. Great Thorn. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and then my third playthrough, I started just messing around with a warlock.
Can't believe you let all those people die.
Yeah. Oh, did you ever? Have you ever
all the tieflings?
Well, yeah. Have you ever experienced that?
Yeah, because my idiot friend misclicked and caused a fireball that killed her. I was like, no, we're reloading on this.
Okay,
you misclicked, you idiot.
So in my first playthrough, I did not save scum big decisions like that. If it happened, it happened because that's just how D&D is, baby. So when my first playthrough, that happened, and then the shield went down and everybody got infected. And the fight that ensues, I think that is the fight I am the most proud of surviving because it requires every little ounce of your knowledge and know-how of playing this game to get through it. And let me tell you, it was a rough one, but I got through it. So yeah. Yeah, that is my runner-up. It's really good. Larry and Suey's did an amazing job. They're still updating the game. They're still patching things and fixing little things, and adding things in. Like what the hell? That's so cool. You don't get a lot of games like that this year.
Very interested to see what. Surely they're going to do DLC for it, and then I'll be very interested. Are they gonna? It'd be like a standalone, or do you get to continue with your existing characters? Either way, I look forward to it.
Same. Well, let's move on to winner for Game of the Year.
So my winner is Jet Set Radio. I mean Bomb Rush Cyberpunk.
And I started writing that, but then I realized Bomb Rush Cyberpunk. Yeah, the game's cool.
So I don't think Bomb Rush Cyberpunk is objectively the best game, but it is the game that speaks to me the most this year.
Yeah,
and
sure.
That, there is early on this moment where, so for anybody who doesn't know, Bomb Rush Cyberpunk is effectively a sole successor to Jet Set Radio. There's this moment early on where a character, it's doing the tutorial, and the character is like, okay, yeah, we're going to teach you how to grind. And so they jump onto this rail, and at the end of the rail is this light pole. It's like, okay, I assume it's going to, you have to jump off or you collide with things. And they're going on. And then they just start straight 90-degree going up it. And I'm not kidding that my jaw just dropped.
Hell yeah. Yeah, it's cool.
just the aesthetic, the music in this game, incredible. The music just sets a tone and an atmosphere that it makes every moment of it enjoyable.
Despite it being like a kind of a almost like not a remake, but a game that's basically paying a lot of service to the past. It feels very fresh and good.
It feels very fresh. The way that they have improved the graffiti, because in the old one you'd have to make these shapes, whereas in this one you go along, you'd be like skating, or you'll have jumped between two sort of you've jumped a gap, and you hit the button to go into it, and it kind of like semi-pauses your character in the air, and then you'll just have these dots, and all you're doing is you're taking the thumbstick and just quickly making out this shape, but it feels so high energy and frenetic that it just keeps that kind of beat and rhythm going, and its attitude of sort of just screw the police, graffiti and Jansen and all this stuff. I just love it. The only downside to this game is the combat sucks.
A fully
part, but you don't. There's only a couple times you actually have to engage in combat, so it mostly doesn't matter. But this game just emotionally charged me in a way that no other game this year did. Even though I'll admit there are games that much better writing, far deeper mechanics to it, but this game, just the way that it speaks to me and a lot of how I feel on things. Yes, I love this game. Last thing I will say is just it has this one song, Big City Life.
Oh, Big City Life is good, man.
It just makes you want to go and just go do a bunch of graffiti and smash windows and just cause chaos.
Like straight up, when that song comes on, I wish I had my skateboard back and I'm 16 again,
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
It's that song, just you immediately go, I'm let's do this. Let's go cyberfunkin'.
The game rips ass.
Yeah. So let's hear your game of the year.
All right. So, do you have any guesses what it could be? Do you have a guess?
No, because it's not Baldur's Gate. So now I don't know what you would put above Baldur's Gate, honestly.
Well, let me tell you. It is a game where I didn't think I'd ever get one of these ever again. And Hassan, whenever I hear the numbers 621 coming into the speaker, and I am tuning my mech, and I'm ready for another fucking fight, God, Armored Core 6 Fires Rubicon feels so goddamn good. And like, this is a game that I needed pumped into my veins hardcore. Like, there are some frustrating times. It is not a perfect game. It is, by all standards, like, it is a short game. You can complete it in, like, I did it in like 23-ish hours, and that's including a bunch of the side content, and I even played some online matches as well. And like, this game feels so good to be a giant robot. Oh my god, Armored Core is back, and people compare it as like, oh, there's a Souls-like component to it, and like, nah, yes, but not really. But again, like, when I grip the controller, and it's like, I remember the feeling of playing Armored Core back when I was younger, and the weird way you had to hold things, and like it just feels so good. It's such a intense game. The boss fights are well made. There's even a repeat boss fight at one point for like the main, like the last boss is the second last boss actually is a repeat fight from the first one. And basically, what ends up happening is that like it's like like they do it in such a different way where it feels fresh and good, regardless of what's happening. And I think that is a sign of a of a well-made game is that you can repeat a boss fight and I'm still into it. And like it does these great things of, hey, you died during this boss fight. Do you want to like retool your build a little bit so you can kind of like, maybe you saw something, oh, if I had this, I could probably knock their shield down quicker this way. Or if I had this booster, I can actually do more aerial dashes and like get out of the way quicker, or all these things. So this game highly wants you to experiment with every scenario you possibly can. And it feels good just to kind of like sit there and tune your mech and figure out your style, like what you want to do in that game. And like for me, it ended up being like reverse joint legs, but like the big chunky reverse joint legs. My mech was called Leg Day because the legs are so big.
That's pretty good.
And he's bright pink and white. And he's just got a shotgun, and it's good stuff. It feels so good.
Yeah, it's you had said this line earlier. Armored Core is back, baby.
Yeah.
And I actually think it's interesting that this feels like a game where it doesn't seem like it's necessarily winning any Game of the Year awards. At least not from any, let's say, bigger entities.
Look, the irreputable Jeff Keighley Awards didn't give it anything, so yeah.
I don't even necessarily mean those. I'm talking even, a lot of the entities that will, vote in the Game Awards.
The reputable
and have their own,
IGN.
Whether that's your GameSpots, your IGNs, but also places like Edge Magazine, Game Informer, those kind of places. Yeah. But you definitely hear that sort of like one staff member who's saying like, no, this is like the game of the year. This game is incredible, and it does make me wonder if Armored Core is back. Are they going to make another one after this? Because I feel like the main difference is with Dark Souls, it felt like when that came out. No, Demon's Souls. That was the first one, right?
Yep, sure was.
Yeah, it felt like when that one came out, like 9 out of 10 people who played it were like, this is trash. This game sucks. And there was that one staff member who was going, no, this is the game of the year. You people don't understand it. It feels like the difference here is this time 9 out of 10 people who play it are going, no, I liked it. It's really good. It's like, my number 5 game of the year. And then it's that 1 out of 5. And so it makes me wonder, like, are we going to see in 10 years everything is an Armored Core like?
I don't think so. I mean,
I don't think either. It's just it's fascinating to see a similar trajectory in a way of these things.
Yeah, fair enough. So like, I think the thing that makes Armored Core 6 Fires Rubicon stand out above everything else, though, for me, is that like I think it has also a weirdly solid story. Unlike other Dark Souls games, where they bury the story for the most part in the lore, or the story is pretty stock standard. In Armored Core, you're just kind of doing mission to mission to mission to mission, but at a certain point, your handler goes away and then comes back eventually, but goes away and this entity starts talking to you, and this is when like the subtitle Fires of Rubicon kind of comes up. And this entity starts like really speaking of like revolution and what this planet inhabits and what's inhabiting this planet, and the fact that colonization is a very real and dangerous threat even in space, and all these things. And the language they use to tell the story is A+. And I feel as if the stuff that they are discussing in it is, it kind of is up there with like your Kojima-esque stories, where he talks about like, how war is brutal and hard, but also a little cool, but only from an outsider perspective.
Yeah, war's sexy.
Yeah, but from an outsider's perspective, it's really cool. But when you actually look into it directly, it's like this is brutal and awful. But then, the way the story ends up going, and like the allies and the side characters you get, like there are no like nobody has a face in this game. There are no humanoid characters at all. It's all told through either symbols, like their call signs on a screen, and or their armor cores they inhabit. And there, I got a shirt of my guy V4 Rusty's logo because he's just too damn cool, and he's got like the dumb wolf logo.
Oh yeah,
yeah. So I got a wolf shirt, which I'm not proud of, but like I like him. He's fun. He calls you buddy. He's like, hey buddy, let's go and stomp some ass.
Hey buddy, let's go murder.
Yeah, like he just shows up, and so you work with him once, and then he calls you buddy at the end, and then he comes back a couple more times to help you out, and like each time he gets progressively more and more friendly to a point where he's hired to actually take you down, and he's like, hey buddy, I didn't want it to come to this, but money's money, I guess. Sorry. So you fight each other and you battle, and you're pretty sure you kill him, and then he comes back at the very end. And like to save your ass during this final mission, he's like, "Hey, buddy, we're all here." It's like, "Oh yes!"
Oh my god,
it's one of those.
That's great.
Yeah, it's so good. It's so good. Right. Yeah,
well,
Armored Core 6.
Yeah,
it's back.
So that's been our awards for the year. So you have to go and clean up a sandwich. So why don't you tell people where to find us?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, it fell earlier. It was really funny. I kept looking at it throughout the show and thinking, like,
I heard it.
Sting there.
Yeah, I heard it. Anyway, go to our Twitter page, which is at EiFNiR. That's the place you can find us on Twitter. Yeah. Go there and tell us about your favorite things of the year. I actually want to hear. I want to hear that stuff. Go to our iTunes, Spotify, and YouTube page where you're looking at this. Like, subscribe, and do those things down there. You know where I'm pointing. And then, like, maybe just, like, share it with your friends. Yeah, just being sincere this time. Just share it with your friends. Yeah, do it. And then go to our friends site, which is djdane.com. That's the guy that does our music. djdane.com. Go there, listen to his great tunes, and just, like, spread some love around, and maybe, maybe hijack his body into a weird nanomachine that lives inside the planet. Or
yeah, he'll probably like that.
Hijack his brain.
That sounds like he talks about how he enjoys hijacking all the time, so I'm sure he'll like that.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah. Anyway, that's it for our show. Tune in next time for another embarrassable episode of Everything is Fine Is Ruined.
See ya.
Say it.